Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Hafiz bin Nick Ismail. My student ID is 2018639268. Would like to present my FYP1 proposal titled CFD Analysis of Rocket Convergent Divergent Nozzle. My supervisor was Dr. Ahmad Hussein bin Abdul Hamid. For the project summary, the project will focus on the efficient rocket design based on the 2.75 inches rocket, known as RF7. The analysis will be made by using an open-form CFD application. The understanding of the variable factors such as temperature, pressure, and other will be evaluated and analyzed through the analysis. The design will be influenced with the newly divergence, convergence, angle, and the exit area ratio. The intervention of two conical nozzles was the objective at the end of the experiment. The figure on the top and the bottom shows the RV7 rocket, and the middle gift picture shows the effect on the spreads on the fluid through nozzle applications. As we know, rocket nozzle study in the early 1888 by Gustav de Lava shown in the top figure, and the below figure shows the modern intervention of the rocket. The rocketry study started to grow among the researchers due to its capability in producing the benefits toward numerous areas such as manufacturing, automobile, and also other industrial. Through this, numbers of well-known applications of nozzle being applied at the steam turbine, ramjets, and also spray. For the literature review part, I would like to start with subtopics of computational fluid dynamics. Computational fluid dynamics is common nowadays where it was widely used in the overall application of automotive or even rocketry application. It provides better benefit as compared to the experimental method in industrial area, and the result for every discovery was much quicker. Through CFD is capable to analyze the fluid flow in terms of its temperature, pressure, movement of the fluids involving the velocity, and others. Throughout this project, open for application was used and thus able to help to understand the fluid flow characteristic in the new intervention and improvement in terms of design capable to be made. The figures on the slide shows how the analysis of the fluid taking over in the nozzle, showing its Mach number in the coloring section from converge to diverse sections. As we know, the rocket nozzle carry out its specific function to increase the velocity of the fluid such as water or gas as it passes through it. It was used widely in applications involving piping, aerospace, construction industry, and others. The function of the nozzle doesn't stop that. It functions to accelerate the fluids from one stage to another stage. Nozzle is also able to carry out other specific functions as to control the speed, mass flow rate, and to direct the fluid as it passes through it. Back in the 19th century, de Lava nozzle capable to prove that particle size distribution and high velocities determine the flows from converge to a diverge section. De Lava nozzle able to optimize the coating quality of the wire arc as compared to cylindrical atomizing gas nozzle, which thus prove the capability of the converge divergence nozzle to be used in the rocketry industries. As we can see from the figure below, the flow from the converge through to diverge section can be seen, and the particle can be seen flowing from one section to another section. As we can see from the converge section, the Mach number is lesser than 1. The throat section, Mach number is equal to 1. The divergence section, the Mach number is greater than 1. In this topic, we will talk about the rocket nozzle design flow. From a figure 3a, shows the flow through the nozzle where it is completely subsonic. The flow accelerates out of the chamber through the converging section, reaching its maximum subsonic speed at the throat. The flow then decelerates through the reducing section and exhausts in the ambient as a subsonic jet. Lowering the back pressure in the state increases the flow speed everywhere in the nozzle. Lowering it far enough, we will eventually get the situation shown in the figure 3b as shown in the flow pattern is exactly the same as in subsonic flow, except that the flow speed at the throat has just reached Mach 1. Flow through the nozzle is now choked since further reduction in the back pressure can move the point of M equals to 1 away from the throat. However, the flow pattern in the divergence section does change as you lower the back pressure further. As the back pressure is lower below that needed just to choke the flow of the region of the supersonic flow formed just downstream of the throat. Unlike a subsonic flow, the supersonic flow accelerates as the area gets bigger. The region of supersonic acceleration is dominated by the normal shock wave. The shock wave produces a near instantaneous deceleration of the flow to subsonic speed. The subsonic flow then decelerates through the remainder of the divergence section and exhausts as a subsonic jet. In this regime, if you lower or raise the back pressure, you increase or decrease the length of supersonic flow in the divergence section before the shock wave. This can be applied in the figure 3c. If you lower the bed pressure enough, you can extend the supersonic all the way down the nozzle until the shock is sitting at the nozzle exit, as shown in the figure 3D. Because you have a very long region of acceleration, like in this case, the flow speed just before the shock will be very large in this case. However, after the shock, the flow in the jet will be subsonic. Lowering the bed pressure much further cause the shock to the bend out into the jet, as shown in the figure 3A, which is over-expanded experience, and a complex pattern of shock and reflection is set up in the jet, which will now involve a mixture of subsonic and supersonic flow. Or if the bed pressure is low enough, the supersonic flow, because the shock is no longer perpendicular to the flow near the nozzle wall, it deflects inwards as it leaves the exit, producing an initially contracting jet. We refer to this as over-expanded flow because in this case, the pressure at the nozzle exit is lower than the ambient bed pressure. For example, the flow has been expanded by the nozzle too much. Further lowering of the bed pressure changes and weakens the wave pattern in the jet. Eventually, we will have to lower the bed pressure enough so that it is now equal to the pressure at the nozzle exit. In this case, the wave in the jet disappears altogether, as shown in the figure 3F, and the jet will be uniformly supersonic. The situation, since it is often desirable, is referred to the design condition. Finally, if we lower the bed pressure level further, we will create a new imbalance between the exit and the bed pressure. The exit pressure greater than the bed pressure, as shown in figure 3G. In this situation, it is called underexpanded. What we call expansion wave, the produce gradual turning and acceleration in the jet form at the nozzle exit, initially turning the flow at the jet edges over in the plume and setting up a different type of complex wave pattern. On the concept of the design flow stated before, the recommendation for the rocket nozzle started from the overexpanded and onwards. The application of the overexpanded was applied at the Space Shuttle main engine, which caused the creation of shock wave at the subsonic flow and creation of the overexpanded during the takeoff and underexpanded as it reached the vacuum state pressure at the space. As we can see before the takeoff, the extreme shock wave created a region of subsonic flow and produced a white luminescent glow. There are two common shapes of nozzle in the rocketry industry. First is conical nozzle and the second one is bell-shaped nozzle. The conical nozzle was used often in the early rocket application because of its simplicity and ease of construction. The cone gets its name from the fact that the wall dives at a constant angle. Small angles produce greater thrust because it maximizes the axial component of exit velocity and produces a high specific impulse. The penalty, however, is a longer and heavier nozzle is needed to be built. At the other extreme, size and weight are minimized by large nozzle wall angle. After that, the bell-shaped nozzle is the most commonly used nozzle shape, offers significant advantage over the conical nozzle, both in size and performance. Referring to the above figure, note that the bell consists of two sections. Near the throat, nozzle diverges at a relatively large angle, but the degree of divergence tapers off further downstream. Near the nozzle exit, the divergent angle is very small. In this way, the bell is compromised between the two extremes of conical nozzles to minimize the weight while maximizing the performance. The most important design issue is to contour the nozzle to avoid oblique shock and maximize performance. There was an intervention from the conical and dual bell nozzle. As we know, advanced rocket nozzle design, which is categorized into dual bell nozzle, expansion and deflection nozzle, and annular nozzle. Discovery started in the early 1960s. From the figure, we can see the conventional bell, dual bell, expansion and deflection adapt themselves differently in the sea level and the vacuum to best performance in the rocket. For this section, we will talk about dual bell nozzle analysis as it correlates with the intervention of dual conical nozzle. The design of this nozzle concept as shown in the top figure with its typical inner base nozzle, the wall inflation, and the outer nozzle extension. This nozzle concept offers an altitude adaptation achieved only by the nozzle wall inflation. As seen on the figure A, in the lower altitude, control and symmetrically flow separation occur at this small figure as seen on the figure below, which results in a lower effective air ratio. For the higher altitude, which is figure B, the nozzle flow is attached to the wall until the exit plane, and the full geometrical air ratio is used. Because of the higher air ratio and improved vacuum performance is achieved. However, additional performance losses are induced in the dual bell nozzle as compared with two baseline nozzles having the same air ratio as the dual bell nozzle at its wall inflation and its exit plane. Technically, for this project, the main idea for having a dual conical nozzle is not for altitude adaptation, as what dual bell nozzle was designed for. The main idea was to ensure that for dual cone nozzle is to have a strong initial expansion towards the exit plane. This is to imitate the characteristic of dual bell nozzle which have a strong initial expansion. For the dual bell nozzle analysis, this concept was first studied at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory Sabatini in 1949. In the late 1960s, Rocketdyne patented this nozzle concept, which has received attention in the recent years in the US and Europe. From the map, we can see the region of the USA and the Europe, where the dual bell nozzle intervention start to grow. Nozzle can be categorized into two prime categories in the advanced rocket nozzle design known as thrust-optimized contour and conical contour nozzle. Bell-shaped nozzle will be able to produce streamline which followed by the flow field of expanded gases with the creation of TOC nozzle. The rate of change of the area decreases and causes small compression wave to generate a mild oblique shock within the flow. Hence, it creates a cancellation of the oblique shock wave and oblique expansion wave through the idealized method of characteristic, which is able to reduce the energy losses. Other bell-shaped nozzles are not practically used as they are long in terms of their dimension, which are considered heavy for rocketry application. For truncated ideal contour, TIC was formed, which is known as compact version of TOC to increase the performance in the rocketry application. By producing a conical contour, length of the nozzle will be taking a fraction of the length of conical nozzle having 50-degree half angle. Raw parabolic approximation or raw method characteristic were the method used for bell-shaped contour once the length was chosen through the suggested method. For conventional nozzle, as referred from raw parabolic figure, it can be defined includes the length of the nozzle, throat radius, and also tree curve. From this, calculation of the equation managed to be determined. The problem managed to be determined whether rocketry application in Malaysia can be seen lacking in terms of studies and discovery due to the lack of genuine research articles study formed based from Malaysia. Moreover, the study regarding rocketry application of converging and divergent shapes only focus on the general rocket application. The fabrication of the bell nozzle is much more complicated as compared to conical nozzle, but it received wider attention. Moreover, nozzle always associated with an energy losses. The intervention made for dual bell nozzle was greater than a conical nozzle, which received less attention. Hence, their objective is to produce a dual conical nozzle for 2.75 inches rocket known as CRV7 and at the same time maximize its thrust performance. The scope of this project, it will cover the whole analysis involving the 2.75 inches rocket and the exit area ratio, and also the divergence angle will be the variable in the study for the intervention of dual conical nozzle by using the open form analysis. It will involve other variables such as recoil temperature and also pressure. For the limitation we already know regarding the lack of intervention of conical nozzle, the dual bell nozzle always be the main focus of the study in the rocketry application. Hence, the lack of discovery caused lack of data to be determined to help in intervention of dual conical nozzle. Methodology section, it will involve literature review part, problem definition, numerical setup, independent study, software validation, CFD analysis, and also lastly report writing. For the methodology section, the discovery will involve data that will be collected for this project involving the real dimension of CRV7 model. The dimension will be recorded including the length of the nozzle, divergence angle, and the exit area ratio. The design will be sketched in the CFD application after all the problems managed to be identified. The design will be adjusted until it reaches a satisfactory level in the rocketry application. Then the mathematical model will be used in the analysis as calculation of raw parabolic, nozzle length, exit area ratio, thrust force production, pressure ratio, and Mach number. At the end, the result of the mathematical model and the design will be validated with the analysis from the CFD analysis, and if flows condition will be determined to analyze its wave and shock condition. The mesh technique will be used to compute the CFD analysis. For the preliminary result, the data managed to be computed throughout the case study involving the dimension of the rocket nozzle. The mathematical equation was used such as area ratio and pressure ratio to determine the required analysis. The area ratio managed to be determined where the area of divergent exit, which is 22 mm, was divided by throat diameter, which is equal to 5.5 mm, and thus resulted a nozzle area ratio equal to 4. The pressure ratio relation was determined throughout the atmospheric pressure divided by chamber total pressure equation, resulted in 0.2 kPa. The isentropic exponent assumed to be 1.4 due to the S standard. Data was compared for both applications of applet and open form. The distribution of the temperature can be seen the highest at the opening of the convergence section, as the positioning of the section can be considered close to the chamber of the rocket, as we can see in the applet software. The temperature started to decrease as it moved from the convergence section to the throat and started to increase as it reached the divergence section. From the applet, the temperature of distribution managed to be determined, but the result was not as detailed as the study only involved one-dimensional analysis. The result can be considered imprecise and can be compared against the time. OpenFOAM managed to show better analysis in terms of pressure distribution throughout the analysis against time. From the analysis, the pressure distribution can be said decrease as it moving towards the divergence section. From the graphical moving picture, we can see that as time passed by, the occurrence of the shock inside the divergence nozzle occurred, thus improved the desirability of the rocket nozzle and providing better thrust toward the rocket performance. For the expected result, it is expected that the intervention of the dual conical nozzle capable to produce high Mach number than conical nozzle. The higher the Mach number, the better the force and thrust of the rocket nozzle. The Mach number targeted to be reaching the capability of the supersonic level scaling from 1.2 to 5. After that, it is expected that the shock wave dampen occurrence will be occurred in the dual conical nozzle configuration. This is to ensure that the shock wave occurrence inside of the rocket managed to be amplified and thus leads to increase in the performance in terms of the thrust for the rocket. Thank you for listening to my FYP1 proposal brief. I hope all of the information was clear and managed to be understood by the panel. If there are any questions you would like to ask, you can contact me through my email and my phone number. That's all for today. Thank you.